Hello. I am Bobbi Rowntree. I call myself born medium. I call myself born medium because I was born like this. I was born this way. Yeah. Sometimes I think I should call myself happy medium. Because wouldn't that have been funnier? And I'm super happy all the time. But no, call myself born medium. Okie dokie. So, being a born medium means, okay, I'm going to say it one more time. I was born this way. So, I was born with the ability to see, hear, and feel the dead. That's pretty much the gist of it. I was born just being able to see, hear, and feel the dead. But also other things, it's just really easy to put it to the dead, especially if you don't know what you are, because that's your evidence. Does that make sense? Like I started my career doing parties with another reader who would do angel readings, because I have something about hanging out with women who do angel readings. I don't know if you can see my eyes with Aaron. But anyway, I used to think, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I can speak to the dead because I know that I'm getting confirmation on things. With angel readings, it felt airy to me. So that I think that's why that I've always attached myself somewhat to my ability to speak to people on the other side. Now, I'm also going to say, I am willing to read you all if you would like me to. I don't know if I can read you all in the amount of time. Only 45 minutes, right? I don't even think I could do 5 minutes for each person do 45 minutes. People are in here. I'm trying to do quick math. Somebody's smarter. Tell me how many 5 minutes intervals I would have to have. Anywho, I can't do the quick math really fast because my brain is doing other things.
It takes 60 minutes.
Thank you. Oh, okie dokie. And then I'd be infringing on Aaron's time, which is something I do already anyway, so shouldn't do that though. Anyway, okie dokie. So, more about me. More about me. Okay, so as a medium, I actually believe that every person in this room is a psychic. I actually believe every person in this building is a psychic. I believe every person is psychic. Let's just cut to the chase of it. I believe very strongly that they gave me my ability in a glaring kind of fashion so that I could help other people see their ability. Because it is so ingrained. It is so, you have to actually almost look for it. With myself, I didn't have to look for it at all. When I was a little girl, yeah, that's a funny thing, but I won't repeat with that. I used to see faces. I used to hear voices. Anytime that I did things where I would say, if you've even noticed when I'm talking to you right now, every now and again I talk to other people while I'm talking to you, and maybe even change the subject that I'm talking about, or put a little caveat on the subject because they're talking to me as I'm talking to you, and they interrupt me as soon as I get a tiny bit of space in my brain. They're like in that space. So when I was a little girl and I would sit down and I would color, they'd be like, oh, Ruby, space in the brain, and they'd all get at me and start doing the faces and things, and they would change time. They would actually, I would go up to my sister because everybody in the family knew my thing, and I would go up to my sister and I would look at her and she would, or she would, no matter what, I was in the wrong time area of them. And the faces would happen, and then the noises, and I grew up before dishwashers. We got a dishwasher. I remember my mom getting it. I remember her being in the front yard praising it. So when dishwashers came into, they were loud, very loud. Microwaves are loud. Stoves are not loud. Unless you do a convection oven, then it gets loud. But that sound would come and reverberate, which now I see with autistic kids, not being able to be around sound, having sensory difficulties, things like that. I believe autistic kids are me 100-fold. I have this thing in my brain that tells me, okay, don't tell them that. Okay? When I saw the tooth fairy, my sister had lost her tooth. She was in the upper bunk. I saw a little fairy go across and go up. She was like this. She was this little fat. It looked like a cardboard cutout, and it just went like this past me. It didn't look like a bean. It looked like somebody had. Here, Giotto, anyone? No? Okay. So, like a 2D painting. Giotto was one of the first 2D painters before they figured out depth in 3D. So that's why Giotto painting. example of that. I studied art history. Anywho, so she looked like a cardboard cutout going past when I was a little girl. Anyway, so these are the weird things that I saw as a child that I had to try to make sense of, that I couldn't tell anybody about, and now I make it my living. Now I'm like, oh, maybe you have seen a fairy. Your mind has said, no, fairies don't exist, so I did not see a fairy, I saw a fly. And now all you saw was a fly, you didn't see the fairy, because you didn't tell your mind you could see fairies. Does that make sense? So my thinking is that what we need to do is expand our horizons, expand what we think is possible, expand what we think is true, because there's so many things that we say are not true that are actually true, but because we don't accept them as truths, we miss them. Does that make sense? Okie dokie. Now, who in this room believes me and thinks they're psychic? Raise your hand. Okie dokie. So the rest of you think I'm a liar? Just kidding. That was really asshole. I think you just don't know it about yourself. It's kind of like I say, I need a smarter person, better at math than me, to make that calculation really quickly, because I tell myself I'm not good at math. I've been telling myself I'm not good at math since I was 9. And so therefore, I'm not that great at math. But I used to work in a bar where you actually had to tell somebody what everything on your tray was going to cost, where I'd have to put down drinks to drunk people and do math really, really quickly. So I can actually do math. I just tell myself I can't do math. And by that standard, I think it's the same thing with psychic abilities. I think that we have psychic abilities, we just tell ourselves we do not have psychic abilities. Okie dokie. So, I don't like to read people who aren't wanting to be read. I think it's rude, because I could do it all the time, every day, anywhere I could, and I think it's very rude to do so. When people do that on TV, I'm like, oh my God. Also, too, if someone doesn't want to be read, you can't read them. You can maybe see your grandmother standing behind you, but like I could see, say, the older lady standing behind you right now. If you do not want to receive a message from that older lady, then I'm not going to hear her respond. It's not going to move as easily because you are the conduit for my ability to see the older lady. I see an older lady behind you, and you probably made that pretty clear. So those little things that they do, yeah, like the man standing behind you. I don't know why they're standing behind you guys, but they're standing behind you guys. It's almost like they stand there just to get me to get my attention so that I can start talking to them. But yeah, but what I found is I feel that's almost rude, because did you guys come in here thinking that was going to happen? Is everyone okay? That's why the man's standing behind you. Is it actually your dad?
It could be my dad or my father-in-law.
Oh,
is it an older man?
Yeah, it's the older. Yeah, it is the generation up. Yeah, and yours I think is your grandmother. I'm pretty darn sure it could be your mother's mother, but I'm not sure if it's your mother's mother's mother or your mother's mother. But yeah, you're not sad. Are you sad? You're not sad about his passing either.
I was sad at the time, but you know, he was such a colorful character that, you know, you continue loving him.
And you miss him.
Yes.
I actually heard, you miss me. You didn't think you would, you miss me. Because he was funny, because he can't replay. Do you actually hear him and other people? Or is there like a grandchild or something that does his jokes?
Yes. And my husband sings and plays guitar like he did, so he does. And they used to play together all the time, just for fun.
Yeah, and your husband's copying him. Yeah, and it doesn't sound as full anymore, and he does still sing along, because it's still missing that part, and he sings it on the other side. Yeah, he's actually been showing me an episode of Ghosts, where one of the ghosts that lives in the mansion sings with their great-grandniece or something like that, and he's showing it like this big energy. Do you get a big energy surge when your husband sings sometimes? There's a woman that sings with your husband. Is that a living woman, or is that a dead woman?
God, he's dead.
So your husband has this dead people band. Because there's a woman that's over here. It's like your husband's here, and there's a woman over here, and it looks like she's got like, you know, that egg sandy thing, you know, that.
It used to be one of his aunts because his dad was from a musical family. Just themselves.
I see, and they used to jam together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't actually call it a hoedown, did they?
No.
No, okay, because I used to be part of a group where we called it a hoedown, and that's what your dad used to put in my head, I think, to get me to that same sort of idea, that when we get together, eventually the guitars are gonna come out.
Absolutely, yeah, family reunions, they all came out and,
Yeah, it's almost like you are Maritimes people. Yeah, is it actually the Maritimesy sort of sound, or is it just that because I think of Maritimes people as always singing their songs together?
yeah, more the French Canadian.
Oh, okay. No, it's not. She just said same poop, different pile. But because when I'm thinking of the Maritimesy sort of thing, I'm thinking of Newfoundland. So, but yeah, I guess it's, but no, I don't, I've never been to that side. So, yeah, I've never been to that. Well, no, I have been to that side, but I've never been to that side, if that makes sense. I've never been to that side of Canada, but I've been to the side where the dead people live. Because the dead people take me to that side. So that I can know what it looks like, if that makes any sense.
What about astral projection?
Astral projection, that's a very, very, very good question. Now, do you mean like in transcendental meditation where I can astral project my body and watch something else like outside of myself?
Yeah, like control it. Like,
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna tell you the absolute truth. The only reason I haven't tried that is because I don't know if I'd come back. I don't know if I would be like, oh, this rocks. Or if I'd be like, I went too far and I don't know how to go back. That's actually, I think you can do a string thing. Can you do a string thing? They just said that.
silver cord.
A silver cord, does it come out of your bum? Oh, they did.
I don't know.
You think it should come
Like,
from?
there was a silver cord from what I read.
I see. Okay. Yeah, but it's real and it's actual. It is very, and my aunt actually gave me a bunch of books before she crossed over about the American government using psychics as remote viewers to watch Russians during the Cold War. Yeah, and that's how they would get their information and such. So I know it absolutely exists, and I would, but I myself have never participated. It's like I've never done an ayahuasca, and I don't know, because I actually think people do ayahuascas to be more like me. So if I do an ayahuasca, what the heck is going to happen? Because I am on a tipping point. So I am on a tipping point every day. Every day when I read people, I'm like, oh, thank God you came, because now I know I'm not crazy. Because I was hearing stuff. Because I hear stuff, I see stuff, I feel stuff every day. And every minute of every day. I can say if I'm awake, I'm receiving information, but when I'm asleep, I'm receiving even more information. We all do. Because when you're asleep, your mind is asleep. Yeah, because your mind is the part of you that goes, oh, that's not real. I know it's real because I've seen everything, and that's not real. And that's what your mind does, and it takes you away from actually experiencing the most amazing things in your life. Okay. I have to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bug you, and I don't mean. She keeps putting her hand on your shoulder and keeps trying to bring me towards you. It looks like Christmas. It looks like stockings, right? She didn't cross it. Did you have a grandmother that crossed around Christmas, or had a birthday around Christmas, or knew Christmas was super special?
Well, all of my grandmas were JWs, so we didn't celebrate Christmas.
Okay. I'm actually talking about that. Oh, I'm so
I wasn't
sorry.
sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm not being, but she's right behind you. And are you guys married to each other?
Might as well.
Would she have known about that when she was here?
Um,
Because she's going like this and sprinkling pixie dust on your head and giving you blessings. Yeah, and she's thanking you. And she's telling you, make an honest woman out of you. I don't know that I agree with her completely, because I think you're probably pretty honest now, you don't have to be married. But, do you have children? Would you? Yeah, it's because of the offspring. And she says less confusion. She's still under the idea of you cannot visit family unless you're related to them in the hospital. Do you know that? It used to be that people would have to get married to visit their partner in ICU because common law was not recognized. But to me and to them, all you have to do is share a bed and you are married. That's not just one time. That's funny. Never made that. It's a little caveat there, but yeah, she approves of you. She's actually writing a little seal of approval, and she's from your mother's side. She's either your mom's mom or your mom's mom's mom. So she's in the mums. Yeah. And she's smooking you in the back of the head as well. Are you an exhibitor up there? Do you do something that you could be in this building?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I have a partner that passed away.
Oh, okay. Partner, or partner in crime?
No, I was with her for 8 years, but I don't think that's the same.
It's not her, it's not even the reason that your grandmother wants you here. The reason your grandmother wants you here is some sort of talent you have, something you can do.
What was my grandma?
Oh, well, it's not, okay, so then instead of your grandma's grandma, because it's mum. So I don't, if it's anything, then it's your grandmother's mother. Because it's, and I'm saying grandmother because grandmother is a whole mouthful, great grandmother, and she just called herself grandma too. But there's some, I keep seeing people who own flutes. I have no idea. You don't make flutes, do you? You would have mentioned the fact that you would make flutes when I said up there. There's something, I don't know if you play or something, there's something where she wants you to be part of this work in some sort of way. And yeah. Yeah, it could even be whatever interest you have is actually going to help you here. Because honestly, everything in this building is soul lifting. Is actually the real truth. Everything everywhere else is silly, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. I think that if you don't look at the metaphysical, if you don't look at that extra part, you're missing something. Why would you want to miss something? If you think about it, and you can see, you can feel, you can taste, you can touch, you have all these amazing senses where you can, like, I can feel it. I like to feel things. I like to feel what things are. So think about, you can actually feel beyond that. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you move more into what you can, the extra sensoriness of you, the extra part of you, because it's actually in each and every, that's why I can do what I can do. The reason I can do what I can do, I could hear his great grandmother, I could hear your father, is because they've not left. They actually just come out of the meat suit and then just go, look, they're just right there. The other side is not in the sky, it's not far away. It feels far away, it feels like it's in the sky. Even when you go there, and even when the dead show it to me, they'll show me someone with dementia, because someone with dementia is half here and half there on either side, and they'll show me a head popping up in the clouds, like it's the floor. Like, and looking around like that, and they're just a head looking around. So that's a dementia person, because they can see what's going on. They're still stuck here on the earth, so they can only pop their heads in the clouds. But there's no clouds. They don't live upstairs. They live right here. They're like right here. Okie dokie. Now, that's, yeah. Sorry, you just caught my attention very, very, very strongly, and the thing I saw was weird. Super weird. You don't cast spells, do you? I am talking to you this time. They showed you doing this, like you had a wand in your hand and like a lightning bolt came out of the wand. That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. So it's gotta be metaphoric, because other than that, you're a person from a movie. Because lightning bolts do come out of one, not that I've seen. Okay, I haven't seen it. I shouldn't say it can't happen. I haven't seen it. Let's just put it that way. Do you have the ability to throw energy? To make things happen without actually physically touching them?
Do I have to answer that question?
No, you don't. You absolutely don't. I think you do. That's what they showed me with you. So okay, so I'm gonna go with that. What I just saw with this young lady was obviously not real, unless it is real, and I'm actually missing a key component in our world, and people can have wands that have a lightning streak out of them. That would be really cool, but not really cool at the same time if they were naughty people. Anywho, but because I saw all those things, they showed me all those things, then they showed me her, and they showed me her doing it, so they wanted to talk to her. They wanted to interrupt me with what I was saying, or what I was saying was actually pertaining to that. But what I was saying has to do with the dead people being right here, and us also having extrasensory, yeah, I think they're actually telling you something about yourself. I think that's why they interrupted me. I think they wanted you to know that about yourself. And that is why they did that. They will, she's supposed to lift her hand when it's 15 minutes. Sorry, that's nice. Oh, that's okay. No, I can't be. You're cleaning your glasses. Okie dokie. Okay, so, next thing. Okay, does anyone, do you guys know what a medium is? Okay, maybe I don't. Because when I first started, there were psychics and there were mediums. And now everyone's psychics do psychic energy. They talk to spirit guides, they talk to ascended beings, they talk to angels. Mediums talk to dead people. But it seems like it's mixing up. And the mixing up, in my opinion, is an expansion. Is that people are getting a little more psychic every day. And we are actually witnessing little psychic people being born every day. We try to medicate them and put them in special classes, and we do all these things, we label them, but they're actually hybrid psychics that are coming in. I'm talking about autistic kids. And I guess the severity thing, like my need to touch stuff, I know is a tiny bit of a spectrum thing. I'm fully aware of that, and actually I embrace it like crazy, because when they show me autistic kids, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Because the fact that they are less mind and more soul is why it seems like they can't do what we do. But I actually think it's that what we do is unnecessary. The way we live our lives, the way we even live around here is not incorrect. It is less than what it could be. Like, I actually think that I could stand here and I could say all of these things without my mouth. And I actually think at least half of you would get everything that I'm trying to say, and the other half would tell themselves they don't. Because I actually believe very strongly that the reason when I say how many people in this room know they're psychic is because we've actually educated ourselves on their centeredness. And by educating ourselves, I actually mean the way that we conduct the world, the way that we tell everything to everybody, the way that we do things. When someone presents as ever so slightly abnormal, we will try to make them normal because we have an idea of what we think normal is. But nobody is as normal as the person next to them. Does that make sense? Okay, so to my mind, what we are doing is we're losing that extra part of us. And I think everyone should have that extra part of us. So I'm gonna tell you how. Okay, so the first thing period is actually meditation. And I always say meditation because Westerners don't like meditation because you have to turn everything off. Even your own brain, you have to turn it all off. And that is very, very difficult for people here because when is the time that you do not have something on or you don't have your, I call them hand computers, just so I can remind myself that that is actually a home computer that is done encapsulated into it. It's not a phone. I never talk on the damn thing. It's funny I call it my phone because when it rings I go, ugh, it's ringing. Actually, I used to do that with the house phone too. So I had an answering machine. I did not answer that damn thing either. So there's enough people calling me in here. Anyway, so if you meditate, you will actually bring a closer and stronger understanding of self to yourself. You will actually understand how you work a little bit better. Because as I'm being told these things, like talking to parents and stuff, I do not hear a different voice. It is actually my voice. It is that same voice that you hear that says, grab your keys, or that person's looking at you. You know, your thought voice. You have it in your head. You all have it. So you don't have to do it. I know. I don't get that. Not everyone has internal dialogue.
No, not everybody does.
Who are those people? How do they exist? Holy, I can't even fathom that. Is anyone here one of those folks that does not, because I taught someone who did not have that. She wanted to learn meditation. And I would say, okay, picture an apple. Oh, cat Bobbi. And I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? So I would have to go with a different sense. I would have to go with the feeling, or I have to, because there's, is it 5? Clairaudient, claircognizant, clairsentient, clairaudient, that's pretty obvious. Clairsentient is feeling. Pardon me? Clairvoyant, that's what I am. That's my primary. I actually think we're all of them. It's kind of like, but the same thing with our senses. Because my hearing is sucky. Well, my vision's not that great actually either, to be honest. My inside ones are really, really good, but these, I don't have these really well. I have this really well. Like, we all have a sense that, like, if you went blind, your other senses would heighten. When you take one away, the other one's heightened. So I actually think it's the same thing with our psychic senses. And I actually still think there's stuff we don't know. I still think that because we haven't explored it as though it is an actual science or an actual real thing, we don't really know what it is, or how it works, or how big it can get, or the senses. I'm 15. Okie dokie. So we start with meditation. With meditation, I can't get enough of the chakras. I lots of different psychics do it in different ways, but this is me and this is my time. So it's chakra. I totally and absolutely rely on the chakras. I honestly believe that you can map out your own body just by looking and thinking about the chakras. The first three, the primals I call them, or the earthly chakras, they are money, sex, and power. And they are so earthly. They're not only those things. This is comfort, security. This is your family, your creative energy, and your sexual energy. And this is your power. This is your power. This chakra is the one I can point at with people to show them how your chakras speak to you. Because this one speaks to us the most obviously. When someone's nervous, they get what? Butterflies in their stomach. When they are trying to figure something out, they get what? A gut feeling. We actually know that we have power in this part of our body, and I truly believe that we are all getting more powerful, and that is why so many people are on anxiety medications. Because I actually believe that this chakra, when you have something around you that you can change or do, it will ignite and it will shove and push up into this chakra, which is your healing zone and your healing chakra. And that's why people get the fluctuations and the anxiety. That's my belief. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm none of those things. I have a bachelor's degree in English and literature. That's what I got. I'm a yoga teacher. But I'm not all this thing. This is what I figured out just by what they told me in my head, by what they told me by playing with people's bodies in front of me, all these sorts of things. That's how I figured this out. Okay, so now moving up, throat, thyroid cancer, thyroid. How many women, my mother, the thyroid, the nodes and things like that, I'm like, Mom, speak the truth. Say something. This is truth and honesty. It's speaking truth with yourself and others. Third eye, everyone knows that. Crown, everyone knows that. So to me, when you open up your chakras, you create this super highway for the information. I honestly believe it comes up through our butt. I believe our tailbone is the beginning of it, and when they want to give you information, it comes here. I believe it can get stuck here so easy. That's that lower back pain. It's actually where your Kundalini snakes lie as well when they're in their dormant state before they can zippity-doo-dah up to your third eye and land themselves right here. Where I have a big lump, that's how I found out they're right there, because I had to research that part of my head, because the base of my skull, the top of my back of my neck, I have a great big growth, and that is wrapped around my brainstem quite snugly, apparently. So I'm not supposed to get it off. I never was supposed to get it off. It was to let me know that my Kundalini energy was coagulating there, and I'm more psychic than I think I am, and I'm supposed to move it. It's been a few years now, I haven't done that, so I gotta get on that. See, because what I have done is, as a child, and then a semi-alcoholic with all of this, and then finally a person who wanted to have children, so wanted to figure out their brain, I started doing meditation for that. I started doing meditation. I had sinusitis before I started doing meditation. I don't have sinusitis anymore because it was just I had a blocked third eye. Meditation has brought everything to here for me, so I can somewhat figure out what goes on in my brain. I don't know it enough. I don't know the full thing yet. I'm only 53. I got another, 20, 30 years to figure all that out before I go over to the other side. But I'm not going to go for I'm planning on going there in 54 years. So that's a lifetime of this. So by then, if I don't have my poop in a group, good Lord, that's pretty bad. But anywho, so it's a very, 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 very long journey. And it doesn't matter where you get to in the journey, there's always somewhere next to go. There's always somewhere better that you can go. But it's so worth starting, because think about your life right now. Think about if you knew that little bit more. If you could hear that, you can feel that nagging feeling, but you're not sure where to have it, where to pull it through. Or do you have this thing about you that's always bugs the crap out of you and everyone criticizes that thing about you? That actually might be the extraordinary thing about you, this psychic ability. And because you haven't told it where to go, it diverts and does something a little bit different. Like me, I do seem quite spinny. Actually, I was called spinny a lot as a kid. I was called hyperactive. I was called hyperkinetic. Now, if I was a kid, I would be ADHD because I have done that test. Not forced, I've been about that test. I'm pretty good at that test. I don't think I have ADHD. I have 12 spirit guides. I have and on top of them, I got dead people everywhere because they are everywhere. And I got other guys and other things. It's not ADHD, it's just that I'll be talking about something else and they'll be, and I have to actually answer to this one that comes into my head and this one that comes into my head. So it is, as a child and as a teen and all those sorts of things, it was seen as a negative, and now I see it just as part of what I can do. So it's not a negative, it's just an annoying part of what I can do, because I do find it somewhat annoying that I have trouble staying in one place, that my mind is not my own, that I can be doing something like, and have to tell someone, so I don't do that as much. I actually just open it up for this, but I used to, I could be in a room with somebody and somebody's yelling at me and yelling at me and yelling at me and I finally have to say it to them, and then they stop yelling at me because they wanted me to say it, but now I have rules. Don't bother me, I don't bother people, I don't tell people things that they didn't ask me to tell them. I do not do that. I will say to them, no, if you want me to tell them that, you put them in my chair. I'm not going to walk up to somebody in the produce section and tell them that their mother says hi. I'm not going to do that, period, and stop. Even if I know them, I have trouble doing that, because it will happen. Yeah, because I've had friends who will get me drunk for that reason. Yeah, I have a girlfriend who used to get me drunk, and then she'd roll up 20s and she'd ask me questions and say, dance, monkey, dance. She would actually say, dance, monkey, dance. And she would ask me questions, knowing because I'm intoxicated, I have no control and I'm going to answer it. I have to answer it. You have a party with me, I am going to talk to some dead people at you, and I'm going to be so